Welcome to MMA Fancast. My name is Mason. Welcome back for everyone who's already a subscriber to the YouTube channel. If you're not already a subscriber to the MMA Fancast YouTube channel, please subscribe so you can see more great interviews like this one coming at you right now. Always an honor to have a first-time guest on the show. This first-time guest on the show is 1-1 in amateur MMA and 1-0 in amateur kickboxing. I was cage side when he got a first-round KO stoppage in his kickboxing debut at the 247 Fighting Championships 247 MMA at the Venue 3 event. It was the only kickboxing fight of the night. It was very, very exciting to have him have his amateur debut in kickboxing. And hailing from the Mat Factory is the one, the only, the first-time guest on the show, George Scheibe. George, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be on.
I am very excited to have you on, and thanks for taking the time and making this work. Let's jump in. We got a lot to cover. First time guest on the show. I try to get some experience from you. So let's jump in with your background prior to MMA or kickboxing. Kind of what sports did you do growing up? What got you into MMA, to the Mat Factory, and then kind of summarize your one-on-one MMA before we get to your kickboxing fight.
Okay, so I grew up in the Philadelphia area. My wife and I, we moved to Pittsburgh when I got out of the Marines. I did 5 years and 3 combat deployments, and another guy who fought for 247 was my best friend from the Marines, Trevor Ward. We were both looking to do something different for our mental health, mainly, coming back from different types of, combat deployments to the Middle East. And we heard like jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, stuff like that might be better than just being in the gym like we were used to. So initially, we were both in nursing school at Pitt Greensburg, and we joined PA Combat Sports out in Greensburg.
Sure.
Those guys were great for getting us in the door. We both moved into different jobs, and living in Greensburg didn't really work for us anymore. So at that time, I was looking to start to fight, but then COVID happened. So around the time that COVID ended, we both moved to High Ground Jiu-Jitsu, and I fought twice for them out of there, both at the Bayfront Convention Center with Bizarro Promotions. Lost my first fight for TKO in 2021, and then won another fight by decision in 2022.
Well, that is a great history of you.
After that, I was just kind of looking for a change.
Go ahead, keep going.
Sorry. Was just looking for a change. Mainly, I driving all the way out to do like the sparring sessions at High Ground was just getting a bit too far. And I've lived 15 minutes from Mat Factory, so I made a change and moved there. Had some family changes. We had a son almost a year ago now. So was kind of waiting for that to get back in the cage, and, talked it over with my wife, and that's how the kickboxing fight happened. We were just looking for something that would kind of get me warmed up to get back into MMA.
Well, I appreciate the history and the experience that you summarized there. A big welcome home to you and all combat deployed veterans. So that's a great tie in there. And the recent 250th birthday of the Marines. Happy belated birthday to you and all Marines. Very, very exciting month. And obviously, congratulations to you and your wife on the birth of your son almost a year ago. A lot going on for you. So you said that one of the goals is to kind of get back into MMA, and kickboxing is a way to get there. What are you wanting to do in the next year or so in MMA? What's the goal in MMA?
Eventually, I want to be in a position where I'm able to be, go professional in MMA. But I think the first step is just kind of getting my feet wet again. An almost 3-year layoff can feel like a lot. So just get back. I would like to try to fight 2 or 3 times next year, hopefully get 3 wins and just be in the position either to fight for an amateur belt or go professional.
Well, you got a great mindset, a great goal setting. I know that fight, it was a great fight. We will get to it, but that fight was a heavyweight fight. What is you? And it looks like he is going to be back, and we're continuing to record, so we should be able to just jump right back in, George. That's the game plan. I think we're still recording. We are still recording, George. So once you're able to hear me and see me, we'll just get right back going.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you, buddy. We are still recording. We temporarily lost
Okay.
connections. Just so you know, this is going to be one recording altogether. We'll just keep it rolling. With you taking the kickboxing fight, it was at heavyweight. What's your game plan? You rolled out the fact that in 2026 you want to fight 3 times, potentially fight for an amateur belt, and then be ready to go pro. At what weight class are you wanting to do that?
My first fight hopefully will be at 205 pounds. I know I can cut to that now. The kickboxing idea was something that I didn't have to cut weight for, just something to kind of knock the rust off. I would eventually my last MMA fight was at middleweight. I would like to be able to get back to a point where I can cut to that. And so hopefully one fight at 205 and 2 at 185 next year is the goal.
Well, that's a very realistic, managing both training well at the Mat Factory as well as managing your weight. Love the idea of you having the game plan of going in there and knocking the rust off with kickboxing. Clearly, the rust was knocked off. Walk us through your experience of your first round knockout finish. It didn't last super long. Had to be a good feeling to get him out of there in the first round.
Definitely, it felt great. Through Mat Factory, I've been working with Chris at Yinzer Boxing for about a year now, and we had a game plan just to kind of do what I do, and it was kind of using the pressure against me. We knew he was going to be trying to walk forward, using my kicks and hitting him first to the body and then just throwing something up top. So I hit him with a right to the body and then a left hook, and it was just pretty much we were working that exact setup in the back. I was doing it with Justin Patton as well. It was just almost an instinct to throw it, and it just connected the way that we wanted it to.
It did indeed. With the everything you've got going on, the plan going forward to try to make it pro in MMA, and obviously having your wife, having the baby, having the 3-year layoff, what did it feel like before they even announced your name? Because with a finish, you've won, right? So when he couldn't get up and it was a knockout TKO finish, what did all that feel like for you?
It felt amazing. It felt like it was, years of work and stress about whether I was even going to get back into the cage. It all kind of hit me at once because I didn't feel any nerves before the fight, which was normally pretty weird for me. I'm normally kind of getting in the right mindset. There was really none of that. It really didn't hit me that it was at that point until they were calling us out, taking the gloves off and everything. I know if I watched the pay-per-view back and I didn't smile until they started taking my gloves off. I'm like, wow, okay, I just did that. I just won this fight. I'm ready to keep going. It was more, I was talking to the coaches in the back. I'm ready to just keep moving and hopefully go on a run this next year.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. And you've mentioned the coaches. You've mentioned Justin the General Patton. What is your connection? How do you what has it been like for you training at the Mat Factory? Obviously, this is your first fight representing the Mat Factory. You gave us a great rundown of kind of your other gyms you've been to. What has been working? What has the experience been like for you at the Mat Factory, particularly your main sparring partners, things like that?
Well, Julian Flenner has been my main sparring partner since I moved there, and he's been a great really leader in there for me, just kind of getting me in the right mindset and getting to that next level. High Ground was a great gym. I was around a bunch of savages there, Dan Walters. But moving to Mat Factory, being closer and being with all these guys who are already at the professional level, it's made me train like that. I have my own trainer for fitness now. I have a nutritionist. I'm doing all the right things to move in that direction. Which has really helped me. And then, of course, Isaac and Dempsey have been there with me all the way, transitioning me back into getting into fighting shape and in the right mindset has been honestly life-changing. It's been impacting me in and out of training.
That makes a lot of sense. Isaac Greeley was the first inductee into the 247 Hall of Fame as a coach and a competitor himself. And he's a great example of just an incredible coach, incredible man, incredible mentor and leader. and as everyone else you mentioned from there. Talk a little bit about training a lot with Julian Flannery. He recently headlined one of the 247 MMA at the Venue cards as the main event in a pro heavyweight fight, which MMA wise is a big deal. What's it like training with somebody who's already doing that at the pro level?
It's great because I just mainly it's, I spar with him all the time, grappling everything, but it's more like the conversations about, what he's doing to get in the right mindset, which, I'm not going to go into all that we talk about because, that's him, that's his process, but it's interesting.
Well, right in the middle of that great answer about Julian Flannery and the mental preparation and process, looks like we have lost George Scheibe again. Uh, I'm going to say, well, looks like we're coming back online. This has been a very
All
bumpy
right.
recording part, but that's okay. We're nearing the end, George. It's definitely good. I apologize that your first time on the show has been bumpy as far as the recording. I think the content has been great, so it'll still work. It's been great having you on the show. Obviously, some technical difficulties. Just kind of wrap up with your thoughts on Julian Flannery now that you're back on, and then just give your thoughts being at the end of the year, a week away from Thanksgiving, heading into 2026, and we'll get out of here. And I can't wait to have you on again in the future ahead of your next fight. So yeah, just kind of wrap us up with your thoughts on what you were sharing about Julian Flannery, and then give your thoughts, kind of wrapping up as you head into the new year.
Okay, so yeah, with Julian, it's been great learning about mindset and just the process from him, always being ready and just kind of like remembering who I am. One of the things I was talking about with him and then the coaches right before the fight is kind of like adopting that warrior mindset back of like, I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to go out on my shield at all times, which is something I lost when I got out of the Marines and I really got it back since I've been at Mat Factory. Uh, for rounding out the year, ready to spend time with family, but I've already been back in the gym. I was lifting 2 days after the fight. So I'm ready to go. I have a great team behind me between my strength and conditioning coach is a Marine that I deployed with out of Valor Training Crow, Trent Kreis. He makes all my programs, helps me manage my weight. Same with case-specific nutrition. They've been great as a team working with my coaches to get me on the right track.
Well, it's been incredible having you on the show for the first time. Thanks for taking time out of your busy life. A big congratulations to your first fight representing the Mat Factory, as well as your first kickboxing fight. Can't wait to have you on again as you transition back.
Thank you very much for everything and for having me on.
Absolutely. Happy Thanksgiving to you and everyone. You take care.